But if people hate these movies, that's fine!
That's fine!
Number 3, she's very stupid.
What reason does Leia have to love Han? Han actually breaks the rules to impress Leia, not to mention basically bullies her into eventually loving him. But apparently, that's cool, because originals and not prequels.
Because originals and not prequels.
Number 4, she's weak.
Honestly, this really feels like a case of projection, where you're projecting Leia's flaws onto Padme. You can't criticize Leia. You can't criticize anything in the original trilogy. This video got over 200,000 views and over 6,000 likes based entirely on lies, hypocrisy, and projection.
If you don't know, Padme is actually one of my favorite fictional characters.
Because... originals!
Today we're going to be examining the most triggered Star Wars prequel fanboy on the internet, TheMovieDoctorful. Let's get started. I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I love Twitter because it allows you to share your thoughts in 140 characters or less. But at the same time, I also hate it because it allows people who don't think before they speak to say whatever they want and say a lot of really dumb shit. And TheMovieDoctorful's Twitter page, in particular, is quite honestly the dumbest Twitter page I have ever come across. It's even worse than Clay Claymore. Let me show you. They're postmodern filmmakers, just as the Star Wars prequels were post-9/11 commentary. The DCEU is a commentary on Trump's America. The Star Wars prequels are a lot of things, but the one thing they weren't were a commentary post-9/11. They were never made with that intent in mind. They were never made with that purpose. George Lucas, for as divisive as he is, did not make those prequels to commentate on the state of America post 9/11 because it doesn't take place on planet Earth. It takes place far, far away in the galaxy, so that really doesn't even make any sense. And no, the DC Cinematic Universe is not a commentary on Trump's America. It was not made for that purpose. It was not made to have that sort of intent. The DC movies are literally made to entertain the masses. They're not made with any sort of political message or agenda in mind. Blair White is just a disgusting excuse for a human being. Another callous ableist like Armored Skeptic and Shoe on Head. Okay, so the context behind this was Blair White criticizing Riley J. Dennis, who is a transgender YouTuber who's pretty much been lambasted by everybody on the internet at this point for her, let's say, interesting views on the world. And Chris Ray Gun retweeted it in a joking manner, stating Portal 3. And apparently, because Blair White dared to criticize the almighty Riley J. Dennis, this apparently makes her a disgusting human being and an ableist. Right, because somebody who criticizes someone you like is totally a disgusting human being. That totally makes sense. Bulletproof logic there, buddy. Oh man, because she criticizes somebody who's transgender, despite the fact that she's transgender herself, she's an ableist. Do you see the mental gymnastics at play here? That really does not make any sense, and is really just a poor attempt to try and discredit her. He really doesn't even explain why she's an ableist or why she's a disgusting human being. He kind of just let it sit. He kind of just lets it hang there. He doesn't elaborate at all, and you can kind of tell it's a clear attempt to try and get their attention in the hopes that they will talk about him, and thus giving him the attention that he so craves. It's really obvious that that is what he's doing. Oh man, this is... When I said this was the dumbest Twitter page I've ever come across, I truly meant it. Big Hero 6, the soulless Iron Giant ripoff that made Minions seem uncorporate? No thanks, it can go fuck itself. Haven't seen Moana. You saw that correctly. This tweet was not photoshopped, it was not doctored. He legitimately believes that Disney's Big Hero 6 is a ripoff of the Iron Giant because it features a boy and his robot story, which is so astoundingly retarded that it's almost unbelievable. Well, I don't know if you know this, but just because Big Hero 6 features a boy and his robot, and the Iron Giant also features a boy and his robot, does not mean that Big Hero 6 is ripping off the Iron Giant. Movies with a boy and his robot have existed for a long time. The Iron Giant was not the first movie to do this. The Big Hero 6 and the Iron Giant are not even the same kind of film, other than the fact that it has a boy and his robot. So the fact that you're calling it a ripoff is just stupid. It's beyond stupid. Oh, and I love that little dig at Minions. Oh, Big Hero 6 makes Minions seem uncorporate. Newsflash. Every movie is made to be corporate because every movie that is made to make money. It's not made for charity. I'm trying so hard to understand his logic. It's hard. It's difficult because it's so fucking dumb. And by the way, how is Big Hero 6 soulless? How is it a soulless Iron Giant ripoff? Please explain. Please elaborate, because just saying that it's a soulless Iron Giant ripoff is not enough. And honestly, that's one of his biggest flaws, is the fact that he doesn't explain, he doesn't elaborate. He just says a bunch of dumb shit and expects you to believe it because, well, it's coming from his mouth. Jesus Christ. The creator of a children's game is calling Twitter users who have qualms with his homophobic statements cunts. This is like a WKUK skit. Awesome. Hope you get more, you two-faced hypocrite. Cry bullying and then proceed to bully Angry Joe for his Suicide Squad review. SMH. Now, as far as I know of, Notch has never made any homophobic statement. In fact, he was criticizing the Polygon writer Russ Pitts for virtue signaling about something. But never did I hear him say, like, any homophobic statements. It's not like he was saying, oh, fuck you, kill yourself, faggot. I never heard that, so I honestly don't know where you're getting that notion from. I'm assuming that you're just pulling it out of your ass, because you tend to do that. And also, as far as your claim about I hate everything, supposedly bullying Angry Joe for his Suicide Squad review, again, where's the evidence of that? Where did he bully Angry Joe, if that's even true at all? I mean, if you're gonna call people out for this kind of shit, you need to show the receipts, you need to show actual evidence. Otherwise, how the fuck do you actually expect people to take you seriously? I honestly can't take you seriously. I'm just going to assume that you're just pulling shit out of your ass just to demonize people you don't like. I mean, it's... oh, and it's great. It's so great to see that you support people you don't like getting false copyright strikes. I'm done. Seriously, I'm done. Like, if this is what humanity has come to, North Korea should just nuke us and be done with it. Good old Will left a pretty long response on the last video I made about him, so I figured I would address all of his points one by one. Everything that's wrong with the Star Wars fandom, despite the fact I've never insulted anyone for hating Anakin, Padme, or the prequels, and the fact that many Star Wars fanboys have given me death threats and suicide requests just for saying the prequels are good, and also saying I deserve to die in the Holocaust, things I would never do, but oh yeah, I'm just as bad as them, no bias there. Now, that first statement saying that you never insult anybody for criticizing Anakin, Padme, or the prequels is complete nonsense, because you pretty much spend your entire response video to Jenny Nicholson doing just that. And she criticizes Anakin, Padme, and the prequels all in one. And you do that throughout the entire video. In fact, you get pretty triggered, so to say that you don't do that when you totally do that is complete nonsense. And beyond Star Wars, you have a tendency to also attack people who don't like the 2003 Hulk film, but we'll talk about that later. Now, in terms of the death threats and suicide requests, that is wrong. Nobody should ever be told to kill themselves just for having a differing opinion. That is totally wrong. The reason I said you represent everything that's wrong with the Star Wars fandom is because you cannot accept any sort of criticism, you cannot accept any sort of dissenting opinion, because if anyone dares to criticize the prequel trilogy in any way, you fly off the handle and leave these very angry, defensive responses. And when you do that, no one's going to have any respect for you. You don't seem to acknowledge the people that have criticisms of the prequel trilogies as people that have different opinions. You seem to acknowledge them as enemies, as people that have insulted something you love and that you must prove them wrong. So that's why I'm saying you represent everything that's wrong with the Star Wars fandom. I'm not saying that you are as bad as them, because you're not, but really, by doing what you do, you just make the fan base look bad, because there are people out there that have this perception that the Star Wars fan base is nothing more than petulant children that can't accept different opinions, and what you are doing only adds to that stigma. That's why I made that statement. You treat... Oh, sorry. I never said Future XMD Comic Zone was an inspiration. I said he was my favorite troll. Troll as in somebody not to be taken seriously. He makes me laugh with how ridiculous he gets and with how many people take such obvious bait so blatantly seriously, but no, I would never in a million years consider him an inspiration for my channel. I never said that he was an inspiration for your channel. I said he was an inspiration for that particular video. Because after he mentioned Jenny Nicholson, you looked her up, miraculously found this video, and you made a terrible response. I said he was an inspiration for your video. I never said he was an inspiration for your channel. So I really don't know where you got that from. Either you didn't watch my video thoroughly enough, or you only watch bits and pieces and are just trying to create these falsehoods to try and make your argument sound better, and it just doesn't work. You treat every insult of Padme as an attack. It's called acting. It's not very good acting, I concede, and I was trying way too hard to be funny, but I was exaggerating my anger for comedic effect. I guess that people who like the prequels aren't allowed to be funny or passionate, or a combination of both, that people like you painting us as the spawn of Joseph Stalin. Seriously, what the hell's with the overreaction on that? Again, I never said you weren't allowed to be funny or passionate. I literally never said that. That's a ridiculous thing to say. And to say that I was painting you as the spawn of Stalin, of all people, is so monumentally stupid that it's almost not even worth discussing. Oh, and this excuse is, oh, it's a joke. It was acting as a joke. I wasn't serious. How stupid do you really think I am, Will? Come on. The only reason you're saying that it's a joke is because I called you out for taking the criticisms of Padme far too seriously. That's why you're saying it's a joke. Because your response was a very serious response. So nothing about it indicated to me that you were trying to be funny or that you were trying to be entertaining. So saying that it's a joke, saying you were trying to be funny, when it's really just a poor defense to justify you getting triggered over Jenny criticizing Padme, who's just a poorly developed character in general, is just utterly ridiculous. And sure, well, Jedi Girl and all of your other white knights are gullible enough to believe that. I'm not. I can clearly tell that you're just trying to save face. It's just, it doesn't work. It just fails spectacularly. And if you were trying to be funny, which I highly doubt, but if you were, you failed because it just wasn't particularly funny. If anything, it was really stupid and cringeworthy. Extremely cringeworthy. Alright, let's move on. Your favorite characters are more like your favorite jerk-off material. Oh yes, because I can't possibly love an attractive female character for any other reason than because I want to have sex with them real classy. I don't know if you realize that was actually a joke. That was a joke. And the reason why I made that joke is because you hold Padme in such a high regard. You have such a love for her. You stand her so hard that when anybody criticizes her, when anybody says, I don't really like Padme, I think she's weak, I think she's this, I think she's that, you fly off the handles and lambast that person. So much so that some people may have the perception that you just jerk off to her in secret because you love her so much. That was the joke. You clearly didn't like it, and you clearly didn't get it. So, but that's why I made it. I hope that's clear. Okay. I do find it hilarious how you've called me a cunt, despite the fact I never name-called Jenny, or even you, despite your obsessive stalking of me on Twitter, and the hatred you hold to me, most appropriately reserved at someone like a racist, and I still won't name-call you because I'm the better and bigger man. A nice emotional manipulation with the I'm not stupid and the audience isn't either. That's the oldest trick in the character assassination book. Okay, first of all, I will admit that I did go a little too far in calling you a cunt. You're not a cunt. If anything, you're just an insufferable douchebag who's monumentally stupid and can't construct a proper argument to save his life or to save your life. Yeah, I will admit, I did go a little overboard. I was in the heat of the moment, so okay, you were right on that sense. As far as my obsessive stalking of you on Twitter, which is blatantly false, when I announced I was making a video about you, you responded to my tweets, and then I responded back, and I retweeted maybe one or two of your tweets, and then I moved on to other videos and projects I was developing. The only reason I was even on your Twitter page, screen capping, looking for stuff for evidence, was for research purposes for that last video and this video. So, but I wasn't like obsessively stalking you or anything like that, so that's just thoroughly not true. And the whole "I'm not stupid and the audience isn't either," and it's character assassination, that's just really stupid. Because when I said that I'm not stupid and the audience isn't either, that's because you were creating these falsehoods and desperately trying to lie to make your argument stronger, to try and discredit Jenny Nicholson, and doing the same thing to try and discredit me. That's what I was saying, because it's obvious what you're doing and people can see it. It's not genuine, it's not real, it's just fake. That's why I said that. So I guess you clearly just don't get it, or just, I don't know. And finally, to close it out, also, pretty sure Anakin did not kill thousands of civilians in the prequels. I don't think he'd even have time to kill thousands of civilians. Unlike you, I'm not going to call you stupid for that, but I will say that you probably just got caught up in your anger and hatred of me. Not that I don't deserve either of those things. I'm a pretty disgusting and horrible person, but not because of a conveniently exaggerated and never insulting response to somebody attacking one of my favorite fictional characters. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is absurd, as is this video, and it's a shame because I actually like some of your other content. Really? Really now? You like my content. You like my content. You like examining Clay Claymore? Did you like my Guide to Surviving the Internet episode on bronies? Did you like my rant on Eplemon and the meme community? I'm willing to bet 100% that he never watched any of my videos. At least up until the moment I announced I was making a video on him. Because it just seems like kind of a guilt trip in a way. It was, oh, it's a shame because I like your content. Oh, but you criticize me and then we can't have that because, you know, I'm a triggered Star Wars prequel fanboy that can't accept any criticism. Oh, but because you like my content, oh, if you criticize me, that's, how dare you, right? It's just, oh, gee, I highly doubt you even watched any of my videos. I really don't, so I don't know what you're saying with that. Oh, okay, I was being a bit hyperbolic when I said Anakin killed like thousands of civilians. Obviously, he didn't kill thousands, but he killed innocent civilians. He killed children in cold blood for no other reason than he just wanted to, because he was like slowly turning to the dark side. So, yes, he does kill innocent civilians in the prequels. It's just plainly obvious if you actually watch it. So, okay. I'm not gonna call you. You're not gonna call me stupid for that. But okay, I'm just trying to respond to these arguments that are just so hilariously stupid. It's just it's doing my burying in. And you seem to think that I hate you or that I'm angry at you. I don't hate you, dude. I don't hate most of the people I make videos on. When I do this show, I criticize a person and the actions that they do in their videos and on social media and on the internet in general, not the person themselves. So you misunderstand why I do this show, first of all. And no, I don't think you're a disgusting, horrible person. I just don't like the things that you're doing. That there's a clear difference. Oh, and you say that, oh, because Jenny attacked Padme. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. This is just projection 101. Because someone criticizes someone you like, that means they're attacking. No, it's not. That's called criticism. Maybe you should try it sometime. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called criticism. When you criticize something, it's as simple as that. Criticism is not attack. And trying to equate criticism as attacking something is just downright retarded. It's just dumb beyond all belief. And, I mean, you can see it for yourself. I mean, it's right on that video, but this is just, again, this is just projection 101. This is just sad. It really, really is sad. And the fact that you cannot construct a proper argument, and the fact that you create these falsehoods to try and discredit me and to try and discredit others simply for having a dissenting opinion is just downright shameful. Pro tip, if you want people to take you seriously, just learn to have better arguments, because this is honestly pretty goddamn embarrassing. TheMovieDoctorful is not good when it comes to respecting dissenting opinions. I wish I were kidding about that. YouTube needs to stop putting armored media in my suggestions. Not interested in the opinions of an anti-feminist dude bro and his ableist girlfriend. The person who suggested him to me wondered if he had a bit of a social justice complex, and I can safely say, yes, he does. Almost to the point where I would call him as a social justice warrior, because this is the kind of stuff that they would say. I don't know if he's quite a full-blown SJW, but he does think the term SJW is stupid, so he probably is. He seems to be one of those people that thinks that women should be exempt from any sort of criticism because they're women, and if you dare to criticize a woman, then you're an anti-feminist, which is just that's bulletproof logic there. I will give him some credit in the fact that he uses the word dude bro. That is a word that I've not heard used in a long time, so he gets some creativity points for that. Oh yeah, and by the way, for those of you who don't know about the ableist girlfriend that he's talking about, that's June, aka a shoe-on head. He's basically saying if your opinions don't conform to his ideology, he's not interested in hearing what you have to say unless you agree with him. Yeah, he seems to be like a very tolerant person. You know, I'd want to have a beer with him, I'd want to, you know, chat and have a nice, lovely discussion about politics. He seems like that type of guy that would be willing to hear my opinions. I mean, he's totally not like a Steve Shives where he, like, basically shames anyone that disagrees with him. Totally not. Although, he doesn't block people that disagree with them, so on that level, he's better than Steve Shives, but really not by much. To requote Todd himself, this is a bad opinion. Feel bad for your terrible opinion. You like that thing I don't like. How dare you? You're a monster. You should feel bad for having that opinion, even though it's only an opinion, because I hate the 2008 Hulk film. Seriously, the pretentiousness is so thick that it literally emanates from this guy and onto the screen and into my soul. Seriously, you cannot get any more pretentious even if you tried. This is one of the biggest problems that I have with TheMovieDoctorful, is that he treats anybody having a differing opinion, whether it's something he likes or doesn't like, as a personal attack. Like, he gets super triggered. He's not just a triggered fanboy of the Star Wars prequels, he's a triggered fanboy of The Incredible Hulk, more specifically Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk film. So much so that if you dare to criticize it, or you just simply say that it's not a good film, he will lose his mind. It is like World War III. And keep that in mind, because that's going to be important later on. But before we get to that, TheMovieDoctorful gets really emotional and tends not to really think before he says things, so he just says a bunch of stupid horseshit. And just, I don't know what to say. Just look at this. So these two tweets are basically him saying what director's career he would end. And the first one, he says, oh, Bryan Singer, director of the X-Men franchise, because he's a child rapist. I'm pretty sure he was acquitted of those charges, and as far as I know of, there really wasn't any evidence to prove that he did in fact rape, like, children. So he doesn't even have any evidence to prove that this is the case. He's literally just saying, oh, he's a child rapist. Believe me, because, you know, I'm TheMovieDoctorful, so you gotta believe me, right? It's just, there's no evidence to back it up, so I'm just gonna assume that's complete nonsense. And the second one, between the two racists, Ridley Scott and Spike Lee, I am literally flabbergasted. I'm gobsmacked, to be honest. There has never been any evidence to prove that Ridley Scott and Spike Lee are racist. I don't even know where he even got that notion. I'm 100% confident that that is not true at all, so I don't know why he's even saying that. And then he says, I would pick Scott because I low-key hate my own race and Covenant. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's basically admitting that he hates white people. I guess he's one of those believers in white guilt. Oh, because he didn't like Alien Covenant, that means his career should end. Ridley Scott's career should end because he didn't like Covenant. Is this real? Is this the world we're living in? This has got to be a troll. This has got to be some kind of elaborate joke, an elaborate prank, because I have a hard time believing that this is real. I have a hard time believing that anybody could possibly be this stupid. That anyone could say the type of stuff that he says and be so confident in it that he post it for everybody to see. It's oh my god. Seriously, well, if you're gonna accuse people of something, have evidence to back up what you're saying. Otherwise, you'll look like a misinformed moron. Just saying. The Movie Doctorful is a hard channel to critique because he has very few original produced content on his channel. Most of his channel consists of YouTube poops, parodies, and montages. He also says in his About section that he reviews bad movies and makes fun of them. He doesn't. He doesn't at all. I have never seen a bad movie review on his channel. And the few videos that he actually does make himself are bad. They're terrible. They're not good. Like, at all. And he often lets his emotions and his biased love towards certain things cloud his judgment. And nowhere is this more prevalent than in his I can't believe it's not Nostalgia Critic review, if you really want to call it that. It's more of a response to Blockbuster Buster's review on Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk. And it is glorious.
This movie's Hulk dog poop. It just drags. It drags like an old dog dragging its ass on the carpet. I know that comic book movies are not Ang Lee's forte, but that's no excuse. It's part of a director's job to adapt from project to project. Look at Steven Spielberg. He went from directing Raiders and E.T. to The Color Purple and Schindler's List. While I might be the first one to complain that a movie has no substance, this one has too much substance. This one has too much substance. This one has too much substance.
This one has too much substance.
Now, the entire video is bad. It is filled with nothing more than triggered butthurt projection and absolutely awful arguments, but the reason I decided to skip to the end is because there are a few specific points that I wanted to address. Okay, first of all, you completely misinterpreted what Erod was saying. When he says it drags, he means there's too much substance, aka there's just too much drama. And drama is incredibly important in a superhero film. It's incredibly important. However, the action is just as important as well. The drama doesn't really mean anything if the story isn't interested, if it doesn't end up leading to something, if nothing interesting is done with it. And that's exactly what happens. This is what causes the film to be such an utter slog to sit through, because nothing interesting happens throughout the course of its running time. 2015's Fantastic suffers from this exact same problem, and that's a movie you hate. So why is it not okay in that film, but it's okay in this one? I really don't understand. And you know, it's just ultimately boring because it doesn't go anywhere. You know, like when you have too much drama, especially in a superhero movie, it doesn't feel like a superhero movie anymore. It just feels like a drama, and not a particularly good one at that. I mean, I think it would be fine if it didn't have the Hulk name attached to it, but the fact that it does just makes it even worse. Oh, and I just love the excuse you threw out. Oh, it's a movie done by an artsy director. It's an art house film, and it was intended to be that way. So it's not an excuse for you to bash it. Are you retarded? I mean that sincerely. Because that way of thinking is a special kind of stupid that's almost incomprehensible. I'm sorry, that's not an excuse. That's not a good argument. That would be like saying, oh, you can't criticize Michael Bay films because they're action explosion fest, and you come to expect that from Michael Bay, so you can't criticize it because you know what you're getting. That's dumb. I don't care who makes it. It doesn't matter if it's an action director, an artsy director, whatever. If the film is not good, then it's not good. Just because it comes from an artsy director does not mean it's exempt from criticism. I can't even believe that you would even say that. That is just astoundingly stupid. Then again, this is the movie Doctorful we're talking about. The kin of illogical logic. Oh, and then at the end when he says, oh, Erod is only focused on soulless, mindless action scenes, and oh, because he said it had too much substance, oh, that's a bad thing, and he has ADD, and he can't understand the drama and themes and characters. Look, dude, I'm trying so hard to keep my cool on this. Listen, the reason he said it has too much substance is because there's too much substance, there's too much drama. You're forgetting that this is a superhero film, and while I understand that drama is important, if it's mostly focused on that, then it really isn't a superhero movie anymore. It's just a fancy schmancy drama. And that's not what people come to a superhero movie for. They come to see superheroes being super heroic and doing awesome stuff. They don't come for drama. That's not what they come there for. And 2003's Hulk had very little action and more on the drama. And because of that, the film is just uninteresting and not good. Like, I don't know how else I can say it. That's why he said it has too much substance. It's not because he doesn't understand the finer art of cinema, and it's not because he's an ADD 13-year-old that only likes to see things go kaboom. I'm done. I honestly, this guy's stupidity is really, really doing my head in. Oh, and the cherry on top of this sundae, it is freaking fantastic. Take a look. Let's fire up the Examometer and give this channel a score. I am so tired. After I'm done recording this video, I'm going straight to bed. But anyways, in short, the movie Doctorful is an easily triggered fanboy of both the Star Wars prequels and Ang Lee's Hulk. He's horrible at criticizing people, he's horrible at argumentation, he will often create falsehoods and say things that are not true, he's a condescending prick, he's a pretentious film snob, he's completely unwilling to accept or acknowledge any sort of dissenting opinions, and I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. The movie Doctorful, to me, is a pretentious film snob, a triggered fanboy, an SJW, and a lolcow all rolled into one. It's quite staggering to see a channel that does the things that he does. And if you watch this, Will, and I know you will, there's nothing wrong with dissenting opinions. There's nothing wrong with people having criticisms of the things that you like. And the fact that you're willing to fly off the handle when anyone criticizes something you like is just sad and pathetic. And it makes you look like a lolcow. It makes you look like an overzealous fanboy. And while his channel is not quite abysmal enough to get the kill it with fire rating, I still can't recommend it to anyone. Maybe if you want to laugh. Maybe if you just want to have, I don't know, just a completely ironic celebration, maybe then I could recommend it, but if it's not for that, I honestly can't. He's definitely not the worst that YouTube has to offer, but he is mediocre, middle of the road, bottom of the barrel, and is not worth your time in any stretch of the imagination. And with that, this examination is over. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces. Stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now.